Yeah, so I after I got the Sauron tattoo, I mean, this wasn't ideal and I didn't want to schedule it like this, but the day after I got my big like tattoo on my right leg, the next day I had a big tattoo that was going to go on my calf, on like the other side of my calf that I hadn't tattooed yet. So I thankfully slept really well and everything, and I felt fine the next day, like a little tired maybe, and I was just like, I'll be fine for the tattoo. And um, it's about an hour away, the shop. I wanted to go for this like specific guy. Anyway, I drove all the way up there like in traffic and shit, and I ended up hating the design. Like, really didn't like what he drew.
Oh man.
And immediately I was like, yeah, man. Like, I didn't even say, because there was like nothing I liked about it. So I looked down and I was just like, yeah, can we change this and remove that and maybe make it more like this and blah, blah. And he was like, oh, I thought you said you were like down for anything. And I'm just like, yeah, but it was like an ugly tattoo. Like, it was just ugly. Like, the design was just, I didn't like it.
I mean, when you
Um,
say you're down for anything,
yeah, like literally he was like, man, I've been wanting to tattoo that specific skull for like months now. And I know it's weird. And that's why I was like, hey, this guy's down for anything. I'll finally get to tattoo this weird skull. And I was like, yeah, man, sorry, I'm not into like. Anyway, we ended up having a consultation. But like when I first got there, he looked down and he saw the tattoos that were already at this point like a week old. So they're like pretty well healed already at that
yeah.
point. But man, he looked down and he was just like, do you have two healing tattoos right now? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, and you want to get another one today? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, that's not a really, we kind of advise against that. And I was like, oh yeah, well, I also have this one. And I lifted it up my shorts and I was like, I got this yesterday.
I I mean, we talked about this like 2 weeks ago. Is that like this is I mean, you're inflicting wounds on yourself, you know?
Yeah, I just didn't, honestly, for some reason it didn't cross my mind that it could be an issue with healing. I thought if anything, I was gonna get sick. I remember saying that. I'm like, yeah, I might get sick because my body's like going through so much like trauma or whatever. But I didn't think about like what if they scab up really bad or what if they just like heal really ugly for some reason because my body just can't handle it. And he kind of got in my head, and we ended up just doing a consultation, and I rescheduled for December with him. And then like after this tattoo that I got on Saturday, I was like, man, I have another one next Saturday. I'm like, I'm gonna push that one. So I pushed that one another week. So I have like a full 2 weeks now that I get to recover completely. And then I'm doing like some small arm filler tattoos
Yeah.
on one day, and then the next day I'm getting kind of a big one on my calf. But it's
Oh
like,
my god, dude. Is it
but then
like
I'm done after
is it
that.
the only way you get off now?
Yeah,
Is
it's
getting
like
a fucking
I
tattoo?
can't get hard without, yeah, without a hot knife
Shit.
cutting into my skin. This
Well,
was by far like one of the most painful tattoos I've ever got. Like,
I
bar fucking none, dude. Not even close.
I mean, they're not like simple tattoos either.
No, this one has like the line work alone took him almost 2 hours before we even did any shading. And the shading took 3 hours. So I was sitting there for like a little over 5 hours. Like tattooing, like they call it the sweet meat, like the fucking like softest baby skin, full of stretch marks
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
too. So like I don't know if that makes it hurt worse, but it probably doesn't help. Like but at the end, like I was looking at my arm in the mirror and some of my stretch marks like down here were so puffy and red. And I was just like, dude, I'm in so much pain right now. And then it was just like horrible headache that I couldn't get rid of and just like super tired from Sunday until today.
Yeah, man. I think repetitive I'd say intense tattoo sessions all in very quick succession. I mean, it takes like a month for a tattoo to really heal, right?
To like fully heal, yeah, a month. Um, but I mean, so far the all the ones that I've gotten are healing really nicely. You know, like, and I'm recovered. I'm eating well. I'm like still trying to like take really good care of myself, but I had to push some things out, man. I was just like, I just can't. And like the only thing now is like I have those two at the very end of the month, and the only reason I'm not worried about it is because that's gonna give like this fresh one a solid 2 weeks to like heal and scab and everything, and then the next ones are like boom boom, and then I'm done for like a month and a half. You know, so it's like everything gets to chill. Yeah, it's crazy.
Fucking
It's
it's
it
just
was.
It's wild, man. I don't know
It
about
wasn't the
that.
best idea. I'm not gonna do this again. If anything, what I'm gonna do is like try and get like 2 tattoos in one sitting, like get smaller ones that I can get like 2 in 1. And then like uh do every other weekend, like give myself like a full 2 weeks in between tattoo
I
sessions to like fully recover.
can I ask you what may be like a personal question?
Yeah, sure.
What's the fucking urgency, man?
It's not urgency, is that I feel like I'm making up for lost time, because the whole reason I'm doing it like this is because if it were my choice, I would get this many tattoos over the course of a year. Like 8 tattoos or whatever in the course of a year.
Yeah.
But that means like almost one a month or one every other month, you know? And if I do that, I won't be able to work out. Like I'll have to keep taking time off from working out. So for me, I'm like, let me get a year's worth of tattoos in like a month and a half. And I know that there's a lot of people that do this. Like this is a thing. I think my big problem is that like a lot of the tattoos that I've gotten to this point have been big. Like
Yeah,
big
yeah.
things that it's like, yeah, it's like if I was getting a bunch of little tattoos every week, it would be completely fine, you know? So it's like, yeah. So I can always reschedule the ones at the end of the month too, if it gets to the point where I'm getting up there and I'm just like, fuck, I don't think I should do this, you know? Like I can always reschedule. So not a big deal. I already moved one to December. But yeah, lesson learned, man. I had a feeling, I was like, I probably will never do this again unless it just goes wildly better than I expected to. And it hasn't. It actually,
Even
I
then,
got
you
hit.
probably just shouldn't do it again.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't. I'm probably like, so like, I need like immune boosting things. What's some immune boosting foods and drinks that you know of?
Uh,
I drank a lot of beer last night.
I think that's good. I
That
think
probably
that's
just
really
cleansed my
great for
system.
fucking healing. You
Yeah.
fucking idiot. You fucking dumbass. Jesus Christ. I don't know, electrolyte?
Yeah, I've been drinking Gatorade and shit. Actually, I should have a Gatorade right now.
Get your Gatorade, boo. This fucking this blurring filter is doing its fucking best.
I can't hear you. My headphones fell out.
It's all
What'd you say?
good. I was saying the fucking blur filter on your screen is fucking sweating its balls off trying to get you right.
Trying so hard right now.
Yeah.
I can't see myself. I have to take off the self view on Zoom, or I'm just staring at myself talking the entire time I'm in meetings and stuff. You wouldn't get it.
No, I'm just at my in-person job, okay? I'm just out there in the real world, you know?
Sure. Like that's great.
Look, I wish I
Who
was
wants
in
to
the
be in the
digi
fucking
world,
real world?
okay?
Huh?
I
What?
wish I was in the digi world. I wish I was in Sword Art Online,
Yeah.
you know? But
Yeah.
we can't all get isekai'd to wherever we want.
Playing Digimon and playing with your Digipets and
Yes, with my Digivice and my
yeah.
Digivices.
You would do Digi Heroin. So much
I'd
Digi
be
Heroin.
doing so much Digi heroin.
Are you dyeing your hair like every week at this point?
Nah, man.
It looks, I swear it looks different every time I see you.
Well, it's too long to spike it now. And so it's kind
Okay.
of in this weird, awkward stage where it's too short to spike it up, but it's too long to like do anything with it, you
Sure.
know?
Yeah.
Uh, but no, man, I just like the thing is, I dyed my whole fucking hair. I bleached it all, and then I
Hmm.
kind of combed the red dye through that, and so it kind of
Hmm.
like has layers in a way, you know?
Yeah, for sure. It looks like strawberry lemonade.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I think it turned out really well. I was
Yeah.
surprised by how many people like are surprised that I did it myself. It was actually a very janky, rundown operation.
But it looks kind of punkish. It looks DIY, but like in a good way.
Yeah. We didn't have any gloves, so I just kind of put the red dye on my bare hands.
You're so
Uh
fucking punk.
which is punk as fuck.
God damn it.
Fuck,
Speaking of,
man.
Speaking of, what's up, buds, and welcome to the new episode of the Earbuds Podcast, the podcast where two buds talk about one album for many minutes. We are your hosts, Lucas, Evangeline Indrakovs, here with Ash,
Ashy Two
Supersonic, Ashy Two Legs, old
Hey.
Ashy Two Legs herself.
Thank you. It's
Yeah,
my two legs.
and we're here to talk about a certain record. We usually pick a certain record, right? Before
Sometimes it's random.
sometimes it's random. Usually
know?
it's specific. We're like, at least try and listen to this one. And this one, I'm excited to hear what you have to say because we're talking about one of my favorite punk bands of all time, Bad Religion, and their album Process of Belief. That
I'm gonna
weirdly, I don't think for the era that it came out in 2002, I don't think there's any like 9/11 type references in this.
odd.
Odd.
Very odd.
Yeah.
Wait,
Agreed.
come on, guys. What kind of
Yeah.
political
That
punk
was a
band are you?
that was just a lob. That was just a volley.
Maybe it was just hanging fruit, you know? Maybe it was just too easy.
They're like, everyone's doing it. It's so
Uh,
boring now.
I'm gonna rip the band-aid off right now and
Oh,
say you
God damn
shouldn't
it.
be too excited about what I got to say about
You
this
know,
record.
okay, let's get into it, man, because I absolutely fucking love Bad Religion. Like,
I am so excited to hear you gush about it because I need you to get me to a better level right now.
I mean, they have at least 4 or 5 records that I love, and I will just like listen to them over and over again. Um, I think Greg Graffin specifically is a huge reason why I love. He's the vocalist, why I love Bad Religion. I think he's one of the best punk vocalists. Like one in the top 10 punk
I would
vocalists.
say the most interesting thing about this record was by far the lyrics.
He's an incredible lyricist. He is so fucking smart, man. I'm pretty sure he teaches some class at like Cornell University.
Kind of an egghead, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of will sneak in those fucking words that you're like, okay, but no one really knows or uses that word. You
It's
know?
so weird how he makes it work too. Like it's just
It
this
can fly
like
right by you if you're not listening.
you have to read along to the lyrics to like really get a full appreciation of what he's saying because he's doing it so fast and like you said, he's using like sometimes 4 or 5 syllable words. You're like, what the fuck, dude? This is a punk
Yeah.
record. And he sounds like this really theatrical, like this prose about him. Like he's just so fucking smart, he can't help it. It is what it feels like. But another reason why I love Bad Religion is because of their guitar tones. I've always thought like Brian Baker and Brett Gurewitz, I think, their
Yeah.
guitar tones and the way they mic and mix them is just like, I think it's my favorite punk guitar tone of any
Really?
band as well. Yeah, because I feel like what I love so much about it is that it's just as raw and kind of like gritty and distorted as it is super clean and really well produced. You know?
Yeah, it's still got that grittiness with it, but it's very it's not so sloppy that you can't really tell when the notes are changing. You
No,
know?
exactly. Yeah, like it's everything. The production on this record, like everything is just so clear and like polished, but it still has a really good like hardcore skate punk. You know, it's not too clean. It's not too like shiny.
Yeah.
You know, they got a perfect balance on that. So you can really hear everything. Like Bad Religion has always also been, especially like this era of their albums, has also been one of the best production of punk bands, like of this era for sure. They
I
always
can
had,
believe that.
yeah, they actually have fucking bottom, you know, like they have like bass to their
Right.
songs, which
Yeah.
like no punk band did.
Well,
Yeah.
it helps that the this record is the return of Brett Gurewitz, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So Brett Gurewitz is the guy who started Epitaph Records. So I
Yes.
think the record label started getting too busy and he had to bow out. But also this is Bad Religion's return to Epitaph.
Yes, I think they were at Atlantic before.
They were in Atlantic, and the albums that they released with Atlantic are considered to be like their worst.
That's well, it's kind of a decade span, isn't it?
Mhm. I think it's like 3 albums. No Control, uh The New America, and I think there's another one in there that I'm forgetting, that I genuinely like all those records, but they don't sound like Bad Religion albums.
Mm.
And so process, it's crazy that they were like so unhappy and hated being at Atlantic so much, and they hated writing The New America so much that they thought it was going to be their last album.
But then hooked up with Brett, fucking recorded this whole new record.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're having fun.
It sounds like they're having a fucking blast. And there's like 3 guitarists and a bassist, a drummer, the singer. Yeah, I think there's 6 people on this album, and it sounds like there's 3 guitars on this fucking album, dude. Like there's the guitars are so loud and in your face, and the riffs are so fucking good. Like such good melodic hardcore riffs, you know? And I think it's like I didn't know that this was a return to form because spoiler alert, this is my first Bad Religion album that I ever heard.
Yeah.
So that probably explains why
Huh.
also it's like one of my favorites of all of
And
theirs, and it's one of my favorite punk albums.
it's interesting because I found this record, and I assumed it was one of their first ones, and it's actually their like
I think they're
11th
12th.
record.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's their 11th or 12th or something.
They
Yeah.
I had no idea they've been playing since 1980.
Dude, yeah. They've been around such a fucking long time. And honestly, didn't really after I listened to this album, like, I'm like, oh my God, Bad Religion's like my new favorite fucking band. I was 14 when I heard it. And then I looked at their catalog and I'm like, oh, they have like 10 other albums I get to listen to. I'm like, fuck yes. And I bought like all of them, pretty much all of
Oh,
them,
fuck.
and just went deep on Bad Religion for us maybe two solid years before I was able to like it was like Bad Religion and RX Bandits for about 2 years of my life.
Shit. I had
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah, man. This is one that just like this album just stands out to me because it's they still keep some of the slower songs that they were starting to play on like No Control and New America that people didn't like, kind of like obvious radio friendly things, like trying to appeal to more people.
Yeah.
Um, they still kept that on some of these songs on this record, like man, I'm trying to think of like one specifically, like Broken. Broken's a really kind of like radio song, like slower, kind of more alternative song.
Sure.
Um, Same with like Epiphany and stuff. So it's they keep some of it, but they do it so much better. And then they just like have this album is like the best opening tracks and the best closing tracks for me.
Really?
I
Really?
fucking love
Really?
them.
Really?
What? Okay, okay.
Explain yourself. Explain
No,
yourself
no,
from the
no. I
fucking
think I'm
closing
turning the table.
track.
I'm turning the tables on your ass right now. What do you not? What is there to not like about this album, dude?
What do you like about Bored and Extremely Dangerous?
That is such a good song. It's
It's
such a
his
great
he
closer.
sounds like he doesn't give a fuck.
He's supposed to be like kind
Yeah,
of
it's sorrow for but it's
yeah,
like
he's like theatrical. It's almost like he's tired. It sounds like he's talking about people who fucking end up like shooting, mass shootings and shit because they're bored and they're
it's a
depressed.
very it's a very heavy subject. Um but it just like it sounds like he's not confident in those lower registers to me, you know.
Yeah, he definitely has a very specific range that he
And
can deliver really fucking good vocals. But yeah, that lower range he's not great at.
there's a couple it's only a couple songs where he's like
Yeah.
even in this lower range, but it sounds like he's not exactly sure how to deliver it. And on this last song, which is the only song where he's like in this range the whole time. It was kind of it felt to me like a very odd one to leave off on, especially when it has this like 10-second break that just
Oh, it's like
randomly comes in
30
the middle.
seconds. Yeah, it's like 30 seconds of weird computer sounds. Like sounds like something like what we did for Mortalis for that one record that we were like, we need to add some like weird stuff. Let's add a weird track. And it was just sounds.
Yeah, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
just like but and it was just kind of like ambient sounds and like ambient talking, but I don't know if it was just the earbuds I was using, but it sounded like I couldn't hear it because of how quiet it was. And then the alarm started
Oh, Yeah.
Uh, the
It's not
alarm,
quiet.
like, no,
No.
maybe it's just me.
Yeah. Are you
And
listening to these on your fucking 5 or below headphones?
no, I'm listening on my fucking AirPods, okay? On my air
Okay, that's
horn.
good.
Uh,
Oh, you have AirPods. Huh? Color me impressed.
I your
I didn't
girls,
realize who I was talking to. You're one of the
yeah,
glitterati.
they got the fucking I got the fucking off-brand Aircore AirPods, okay? That
Air
my dad
whore?
got me for Christmas 2 years ago.
They're air whores?
AIRHOOR.
They're literally air whores.
Yeah, they're I mean, like, I don't know. My dad refuses to get me actual AirPods.
Well,
Uh,
they're fucking expensive.
they're expensive, they're $100.
Yeah.
Um, and I thought that break was so random,
It
and then
was
it
so
came back,
unnecessary and weird. It was very weird. I don't know
and
why they did it. It doesn't make any sense.
it threw me off a little bit, and then it
But
comes
that's the
back
okay, so
in,
that's
and
the outro. But fucking Supersonic, you don't like
Supersonic's a
Supersonic, the
great
opening?
fucking track.
It's
That's a great
so
fucking
good.
track.
That's such a great way to start the record, dude. It's such a banger.
I think that's, to me, Bad Religion in their finest form is when they're at this pace. The
Yes.
these vocals are like built for this kind of song where it's like like fast singing, I guess you'd say. It's not rap. But he's kind of like speaking at a very heightened pace when the
Yeah.
chorus
Because he has
comes
a
in.
lot to fucking say. There's so many lyrics in every song.
I think that song is the epitome of what I like in a Bad Religion song, with like the
Yeah.
backup vocals coming in the chorus, and the guitar tone, and we'll talk about it later. But
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So okay, so Supersonic, great opener. Prove It, a great follow-up to Supersonic, another really fast, great,
I have
short Bad Religion song.
I wanted to ask you, why do you think they put all their minute songs at the very beginning of the record?
I was thinking about that too because it's crazy how different the record opens versus how it closes. Like the first three
Yeah,
songs on the record are like a minute, 20 seconds each, and then the last three songs are like 3.5 minutes each.
I
Like they
like
end with like their longest.
immediately after the third song Broken comes in, and it's like a I'd say it's
It
like a
feels weird.
pretty wholly different vibe.
It feels really weird. It's like such a weird drop of energy where it's like the first three songs were so balls to the wall, and then
Yeah.
I do not like Broken where it is on the record. It like completely takes you out of the album because then Destined for Nothing is right after that, and I legit think Destined for Nothing is like one of the catchiest punk songs ever written, and it gets so stuck in my head to the point where it almost drives me insane.
It does have those whoa woes that we do love
Whoa,
so much.
whoa. So that's another thing that I love so much about Bad Religion is because there's so many like harmonized backup vocals on every song also. So you have a lot of options on like what to sing along with when you're listening to the song. So they
That's
have these
very
like
true.
they have this replayability and these re-listens that you can because then you can pick the harmony or you can pick the third, or do the main vocals. And it's like they have so much of that to offer that it's just like the songs just sound so full and so them. It's like so anthemic, like
I
fucking Queens style, like punk rock.
I don't think anyone is doing, like, no one does the three-part vocal harmonies in punk music.
No,
That's just Bad Religion,
that's just
right?
better. I mean, yeah, I can't think of anyone else that really does
Like,
it that way where it's so fucking like stage theatrical sounding,
No Effects
operatic.
kind of does it, but
Kind of,
it's
yeah.
it's not like this.
Mm.
A lot
And
of
I'm
the
pretty
time it's
sure Fat Mike has admitted that he stole that from Bad Religion.
makes
I'm
sense.
I'm 90% sure.
And another thing that separates Bad Religion obviously is the singer. Um,
Yes, Greg
and
Graffin is an incredible vocalist.
I think it takes balls to sing like this on punk music, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, yeah. I think it would probably be really hard for a lot of people to accept it. It kind of, to me, it's the same thing as like Howard singing in Killswitch, where it's
Mm.
like you either love his weird Muppet voice or you fucking hate it, and it's like there's no two ways about it. And it's like that. I could totally see Greg Graffman's voice ruining Bad Religion for some people, where it's like the music is so great and crunchy and like aggressive and melodic and then you have this like really fucking classical singing kind of going on, this like great voice, like weird, he's has a weird register also, like where he sings, like his like sweet spot is just so weird. It's like not, he's not at his top of his range where he sounds super aggressive, but he's not at the bottom where you hear him like kind of struggle, right? Where he can't really like get down there and
Yeah.
like push. He's somewhere like right in this sweet spot, right in the middle, where it's just like he's almost talking to you. It's like a
Yeah,
talking tone.
in a way, it's kind of like a lot of punk vocalists kind of choose one note and just go with it, right?
Right.
And that's where you
Yeah.
hear a lot of like da 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 da, you know.
Yeah.
And it's almost like he's kind of taking that and revamping it with his singulistics or whatever
Yeah. It's
in
almost
a
like
way.
every song feels like a lecture. It's
Yeah. Which
that's
is
that's you feel like you're being lectured listening to
which
Bad
I guess
Religion.
makes sense if he's teaching at fucking at some college.
Cornell. Yeah, some
Cornell.
fucking Ivy League college. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
where
yeah.
Soundgarden came from, I believe.
Oh, right.
Yeah, yeah. Chris made
Right.
that one.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's no, I'm not gonna say it. Um,
Cool.
but what do you not like about Bad Religion? What do
The thing
what,
the
is
thing I don't like about Bad Religion is what I don't like about listening to punk, right?
okay?
And it's
Is it
just
all too
kind of
same?
it can sound a little samey, and that's my fault. That's my bad. Like that's just my not very discerning ear. Because when you really listen to these tracks, when I
Glad
go
you're
back,
taking the blame.
when I
I'm glad you're victim blaming.
I'm victim blaming myself
Yeah,
for yeah.
for not liking an album.
Because when you listen to punk songs very in a very focused way, they are doing different stuff. They are doing interesting things.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, if you're just kind of casually listening, it sounds like this sing-songy guy and these songs that are all like kind of the same punk beat.
Right. I mean, I definitely get that. Did you, because of that, did you like the more slower, different songs like Epiphany and Broken?
No, not
You
really.
didn't like those either?
I thought it was I believe it's on the beginning of Epiphany where they're trying to do this like it sounds like they're trying to emulate the Police
Yeah, dude,
uh
on Sorrow. That's such a weird
on
intro.
Sorrow. Yeah, and then it just like, all right, well forget about that. We're a punk band again.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, okay,
Okay,
well,
I'm
I
just gonna
guess.
go ahead and say it. Sorrow is one of my choice nugs.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. What do you think about the intro?
I think it's so weird, and I've never understood the count. We tried to cover that song so many times. We tried to learn that song like so many times in Super Crude Boys, and we never stuck with it because we could not get that intro. Like we didn't understand the
It is
time.
very odd.
It's so weird, and it is super policey, ska-y, and it's just so weird. But like, man, it is, to me, on this album the most like theatrical musical sounding song of any of the other tracks on this record. Like this sounds like it could be in a musical, like on Broadway or whatever. Like, let me take you to the hurting ground.
It
We're
yeah,
all good men are trampled down. It's like, oh, it's so fucking epic.
and I don't know how to describe it, but he does on the verses, he sounds like he's using a bit of like a clearer voice. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he's it sounds like he's on stage projecting to like the back row
It
at a
sounds like he's in
musical.
a musical. Yeah.
It sounds like he's in
Yeah.
a fucking musical, and it sounds like he's like doing these hand arm gestures, and it's just so good. The chorus is so catchy. The three-part harmonies in the background during the chorus, like sorrow, and everyone's like, there's four-part harmonies singing sorrow, and it's so like it's almost like folk punk, also sounding like it's
It's
interesting.
you said musical and it clicked. I was
Yes,
like, "Oh, yeah,
100%.
that's what this." Even the chorus is extremely, like,
So,
yeah,
like, yeah,
I
yeah,
imagine
it's
seeing
so
this on stage.
and a
Uh,
big this has always been one of my favorite songs on the record, but I also have like a super personal kind of connection to this song because I learned how to play it on guitar in high school and I randomly played it for my mom one day and she loved it. My mom loves this song.
oh,
Like
shit.
she sings it along with me all the time. Like she'll ask me to play it on guitar when we're hanging out and we'll both sing like the whole song together and she loves this
That's
song.
so sweet.
I know, isn't that awesome,
Man.
man? Like I love this song and it's funny because the first time my mom heard it, like or the first 100 times, it was just me on acoustic guitar. So to her, it's just kind of this folk Americana type sounding song. But then I played her the original, and she like loves the original also. And my mom doesn't
Let's
like
go.
music like this at all, you know. So yeah, yeah. So that's a hard choice nug for me. That one.
Hard choice snug, man. I believe
Yeah,
this was a single from the album.
it was. I think it was the second single. The first one was. Oh no, it was the first single. The second one was Broken, and it just Broken sounds like such a obvious. We're trying to write a single
Sure.
song.
You
Yeah.
gotta make the label happy, I guess. You gotta make Brett
E-
happy.
yeah, exactly. So okay, so what else do you not like about this? Like it's same.
It's same. The uh I'd say the standout track for drums is the beginning of Sorrow. Like I'd say that's the most impressed I was with the drums. It's samey through
Yeah,
the whole thing. Fine. It's punk,
for
right?
sure. There's one
Um
song that he opens with a pretty good filler. Um,
I think
I
yes,
forget
I
the
know
name of
which
the
one you're
fill.
talking about, but I can't
Yeah.
remember which one. Uh
Damn.
Aside from that, pretty much just a basic
Materialist.
materialist. I'm
Yeah.
materialist. That's
I'm a
some fucking
materialist. I'm not a realist. Dude, that's such a
if
weird chorus.
I'm honestly it kind of annoys me.
Yeah, I can totally understand that.
just like just like fucking shut up, okay? But it's a good song.
What
Um
about the riffs though, man? I feel like the riffs are so good on
I
this record.
it was hard for me to focus on the riffs because of how pushed forward the vocals are, if I'm
Yeah,
being honest. And it's like,
yeah. I think they know what they have with Greg. Like you know what you have with him. It's so he's so special as a punk vocalist, you know, and it's like he should
yeah.
take center stage.
And so it's like, yeah, I don't know, unless it was a part where it was just guitar playing without vocals, it was kind of hard for me to like figure out what they were doing back there. Um,
Interesting, man, because I feel like the guitars are so loud and I can hear them so clearly. It's like I'm literally
you know
again,
what it
this
is?
album has so much replayability for me because I feel like the guitar riffs are so singable. Like I'll be like singing along to the guitar sometimes when I'm listening to a song, you know, like not even any of the vocals.
I have a theory as to why these little mixed discrepancies keep happening between you and me, and I think it's on me. It's
I
first
believe you.
off, the time I have to listen to most of this music is like on the bus, right? And so there's
Okay.
a lot of interference there, especially with the low tones. And then I listen to music pretty quietly, which can like when I was listening earlier today, the vocals were pushed so forward with the guitar so far in the back because I was
Yeah.
probably listening quietly. Um, and I don't know, man. Like music obviously sounds better when it's loud, but uh,
Yeah, that's a
I
problem,
got
man.
sensitive girls. I got my
They
ears are
have
fucking sensitive.
uh they have such good mixing and mastering that it like you're doing them a complete disservice if you're listening to them on bad headphones or in a shitty environment where it's like hard to hear what's going on because like it's so well mixed and mastered. Like it's
but I
you're
will
discounting your whole
let me get to my
opinion on this
next
album
point.
now.
Let me get to
Okay.
my next point, which
Okay.
is first and foremost, I believe music is going to be good music no matter what volume. I've always believed that even through sound school. Uh
You should be able to hear everything at any volume. That's for sure.
and these song structures were just so I was
All the same.
surprised when I learned this was the 11th album they made, because it sounds
Mhm.
like by now they should be pushing the envelope a little bit in what they're doing,
Yeah,
and
I
kinda
mean
like
the Pitchfork review of this album is saying the exact same shit that you're saying. They're just like, you've heard these songs 40 or 50 times from Bad Religion already.
and so it's like, it's kind of not fair because this is the first Bad Religion album I've listened to, but I thought that's why I thought this was one of their first ones the first time I listened to it. I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay." Like, they have this thing that carries on through their whole repertoire, these harmonies, these guitars, the tone, the vocals. Um, but eleven albums, 20 years, and it's still the same shit.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know,
yeah,
man.
it's just like they, for better or for worse, they went back to their roots on this record. And this record got compared a lot to two previous records from them, one called Generator and another one called Suffer. And I love both of those albums. And Suffer is actually considered like one of the quintessential like 90s punk records because they kind of started the whole skate punk sound that a lot of bands like ending up eating their lunch with. So like Bad Religion did introduce this sound to punk, like this specific thing that they do. So
Mhm.
they do this so fucking well. And for me, as a new fan, when I first heard this album, it was just like, you know, the best thing I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Sure,
I
yeah.
didn't have 6 or 7 or 11 albums that I'd heard already by them. So I'm like, this is fucking incredible. And then I got to go back and listen to all the things that led up to this record. And in my opinion, this is the best of all that stuff, probably next to Suffer. So I don't know, man. It's definitely like time and place for me. It was just when I was getting into punk, really. And so there's like so much. This was such a present record in my life. And I still, even though Pitchfork gave it a 5, I think that's fucking
Damn.
harsh. You might do the same, but it's interesting because I looked at the album that came out after this, The Empire Strikes First, which I think you might dig actually. Um, Pitchfork gave it an 8.2,
Oh,
the
shit.
follow-up record. And they said
That is
literally yeah, how big is that from Pitchfork, right?
they are yeah, they take that shit very seriously. Uh,
Yeah. And they
what
gave it an 8 because they said it was like after so many albums from them that just sounded the same after over and over and over again, they finally like came out with something new. And that is a
yeah, I
fucking,
might listen to it.
they literally do like, that's such a different record for them because they do like double bass on some songs and
Oh,
everything. Like
shit.
yeah, it's like the drummer just discovered double bass like between the two records and he uses
Yeah,
it a
and
lot
that
on some
shapes
songs.
the whole album.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like
I
it gives it a much heavier, but also they're a lot more catchy. There's like they're more pop punk on that record than they are on any of their previous stuff.
I and I will give them so much appreciation and credit for I mean, fuck, man.
I mean,
They've
they're
been doing
fucking
this
Bad
for
Religion, dude.
20 years. This is
Yeah,
their 11th album and they still seem like they are on top of their fucking game, you
yeah.
know?
I mean, they're still on tour. They're still
Yeah,
releasing
they
records
released an
every
album in
1 or 2 years.
2019.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they're
Like,
pretty
fuck.
fucking steady and again, for better or for worse, pretty much all doing the same thing. So their records did, I think, after Empire Strikes First, it was a slow decline in quality, and originality. And so I haven't liked any of their stuff that they've come out like in the last 15, 20 years, to be
Aaron.
honest. Yeah. But man, I think for me and the era of punk that I was into, which was like, kind of really got into like 1994 to like 2005 punk, maybe like a little over a decade. So much good fucking skate punk and pop punk music came out at that time, and I hold this album up as one of the best of that era. And definitely one of the catchiest of that era as well. So you know, very personal record to me. My favorite Bad Religion record. I feel like there's so little fat on this album too. Like personally, I feel like there's only one or two tracks that I would scrap. But this is just such a solid front to back, great album, and in my opinion, starts out just as strong as it ends. And yeah, man, it's a very special record. I think it's like not just a return to form for them, but it's like reclaiming Bad Religion, kind of reclaiming like this is our shit, you know? Like don't forget who the fucking the
I mean,
forefathers are
they,
here.
they were they were on the brink of collapse. They thought the album before this one was their final one. They came back. I believe it was a return to the charts as well.
Yeah,
Like,
they people were like this album was huge. When this came out, it was like huge in my group of friends, huge in the punk scene.
and
It
so
was a
like
big deal.
how many bands come back after their heyday and just breath of fresh air, we're back, we got another 10 years in us, another 20 years in us.
Yeah,
That's
it's
wild. It's
pretty fucking
crazy.
wild. It's crazy. I'm gonna, this has some of my favorite Bad Religion songs on this album, and it has some of my favorite punk songs on this album. So
Damn.
this is a hard man. It's just because those two that I don't like Broken. So Broken's like making me feel like I can't. The fact that I really don't like Broken is making me feel like I can't give this a 9, but I'm gonna give this a 9.
Give it a 9, man. It's
I'm
1
giving
out
this a
of
9.
14 songs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a 9.
Good on you, man.
Good for you.
Good on Hey, you did really good, bud.
Are you proud of me?
I'm proud of you. Don't let anyone else tell you you're stupid or you have bad fucking taste,
You
man.
have bad taste. Is
Everyone's
it
saying that. Don't listen to them.
everyone's saying it, but yeah, it's like do you are you like me? Do you genuinely think like sincerely think that you have good taste in most things?
I don't. I think I have bad
I'm a
taste
trash
in
person.
I think I have bad taste in music, man. I like
Really? You think that?
I think there's a lot of like hot takes that would drown this incredibly successful podcast that we have.
Why it's
Put us
just
under
off
some
the
heat.
rails.
It
Um
there's just
I
like a
mean,
lot of
we've disagreed on a lot of things that like, and you've surprised me not by not liking things that I think are objectionably good.
yes.
But I wouldn't
Yes.
say that you have a bad taste in music. You do like some weird shit. That's for
I
sure.
think I'm very particular about what I really really like, but I can appreciate music. I think I can appreciate music well enough. I can appreciate like I see what they're doing. I understand why this band is popular or why they have this cult following or why no one, all that stuff. But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
my personal library is not very big.
Dude, that I could not be more opposite. Like, I think I have such a good taste in music. And I like a lot of stuff too. Like I
I
think
You do
you
like
do
a lot of
too.
bands, man. I
Yeah, you like a lot of like different
I
genres
think you
just
have
like
great
me.
taste in music.
Thanks, dude. I genuinely think I have good taste in music. Like I feel like I understand. It's so funny because I'm still figuring out. I feel like so many of my friends, I know exactly what to send y'all. I'm like, ooh, fucking, and I don't send every song to every friend. You know what I mean? Like if I send
Yeah,
you a
no, yeah.
song, you're the only one receiving that song. You know, like 99% of the time, it's like I thought of you, and you still like surprise me sometimes. I was thinking 50-50. You were either gonna love or hate this record. Um, because sometimes when we listen to like more aggressive, loud shit, you're like, I needed this, man. I needed like, I needed a good punk record, and I'm like, fuck
Yeah,
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 dude.
yeah.
Like Bigwig. Like you liked Bigwig.
I was super into Bigwig. I was super
Yeah.
into Municipal Waste. That hit
Yeah.
me. That was like a tiny little hole in my heart that I couldn't fill with anything. But
Yeah.
then those fucking speed metal beats fucking got me where I needed it.
That thrash filled your gash.
Filled my fucking gash, man. Uh, I'm gonna give this one. It's a lot better than when we started. Your
Oh, okay.
enthusiasm has definitely helped with that.
My passionate
Your
fucking
passion, yeah.
yeah. All right.
Um, the fact that this is a 20-year-old band on its 11th album, and they're still going hard as fuck, and they're still obviously putting a lot of love and effort into these songs and these records. I
Yeah.
think it's very cool. A lot of songs are very catchy. Um, I think the album after this, they're trying new stuff. I think I was hoping for a little bit of that. I think the songs can just be a little samey. That's just from my unsophisticated fucking mind.
How much have you heard of Bad Religion before we listened to this album?
I've only heard spread out like singles, right?
Okay.
I've heard like I listened to the Crazy Taxi soundtrack,
Oh,
right?
yes. So good. That's what got me into Bad Religion.
Yeah, and so like my favorite songs are like I Want to Conquer the World
Yeah.
and I do like you.
You was great. Uh something, oh man, I'm forgetting what the song is called. But yeah, that was all from I think The Gray Race, which is also a great Bad Religion record.
Or No Peace. Is that
No, you saying like is that a song?
I I thought that was the album. I think I'm mistaken. In any
Oh no,
case,
no, that's not an album.
I'm gonna give this album a 6.6,
Okay.
and it's much better than what I was gonna give it originally. I think it's a solid piece of punk rock. If you are into punk, I think you're gonna be into this album. I don't think you're gonna have any complaints. To my buddy Pierce, who doesn't like sing punk, as he calls it. He doesn't like Social Distortion is like one of his least favorite bands.
Damn.
Uh, Give it a chance, man.
Misfits sings. What the fuck?
I don't
Danzig
know
is
if I'd call
singing,
that.
dude.
I don't know if that's singing.
Not it's not good. So that's what he means. He doesn't like it when punk singers sound good.
Yeah, he doesn't like it when it's too
Okay.
pristine or too good.
Well, I've heard the same about RX Bandits, that some people had a hard time getting into them because of how Matt Embry sings.
That's wild.
That's not, they started as a ska punk band. Like his vocals are weird for ska punk. That's why they changed their sound so much through the years. I feel like it's because his voice wasn't classic for that. He was too good, too soulful, you know.
It's tough problems, man. It's
But
tough.
you're giving this a 6.1,
I'm giving this a 6.6.
6.6. I can accept
6.6,
that.
sir. Yeah,
I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that.
it's all for you, bud.
Hey, thank you.
Eh,
What are some of your choice nugs or
Uh,
your honorable mentions if you have
some of
any?
my narnerables. Let me take a look here. I liked Prove It.
Yeah, Brute's
Enough.
great. Yeah,
I liked Sorrow.
Sorrow,
I don't know what accent was trying to crawl its way out of my mouth just
Suro,
then. Sorrow.
Swaro.
Um, The Lie. I liked.
Oh, I thought the
Uh,
lie was a little bit of like an outlier for me. Also, a little
I
bit of
liked
like
the
a
guitar
just a
work
good
on it.
song. Yeah, yeah, it's still a good song. It was just yeah, it didn't stand out to me.
I was also not a fan of Broken. I thought it came in at a weird time. It's
They
it's
could have
kind of
never that
like
song.
they wanted to bring the punks in and then to immediately usher them out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's such a like, especially putting it in that order, it doesn't work and it just completely takes you out of the album.
I thought it was odd.
It was a bad choice. It was a bad idea. They should
But
have
I'm
made
gonna
it a B-side.
I'm gonna tell you my Narnug, my first Narnug
Give it
is
to me.
Kyoto Now,
That's my other
baby.
choice, Nug.
No shit.
Yeah,
Oh
dude.
fuck. Let's go,
I
man.
that also is and always has been one of my favorite Bad Religion songs ever.
I'm very much a fan of the lyrical content. I think it's my second favorite chorus on the album.
Yeah, it's so good. It's one
Uh
that also gets stuck in my head to the point of like insanity. sometimes.
It's tough, man. Whenever you get those, like, I mean, the backup vocals help fill the sound out so much. They use it a lot, especially in
Yeah.
the choruses.
Yes.
Um, and
And it
this is
works
no
every
different.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of the first like solos on the record too, or the first solo. And I've
I
always loved their solos.
Yeah, they had a lot more solos than I was honestly expecting on this
They
record.
it that was something that was like on every song before sometimes. Or not
Really?
every song, but there was a lot of solos in Bad Religion music. So it's weird to hear so few on this record. And it's like they only show up in the second half of the record too.
Alright.
Yeah, anyway, but Kyoto No so good. Yeah, and I love that was one of those songs that kind of got me to start looking into like government shit, like
Really?
understanding, yeah,
Like
understanding
the
like
Kyoto Now movement and stuff.
yeah, the whole like greenhouse gas emission thing. And it was just, like that was a great thing about bands like Anti-Flag and Bad Religion for me at that age, because they got me to start like looking things up and learning like things from our history and kind of radicalizing me a little bit, you know?
Yeah, and, as seems to be the case, a lot of the time for our favorite bands, uh, as relevant today, if not more than it was back then, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I
for
like this
sure.
whole
It's
record. Like,
yeah. I feel like especially the record after this, where they really start tackling a lot of the like war on terrorism and all that shit. Like, yeah, it's definitely more prescient or whatever today than
prescient.
yeah. Well, some of my honorable mentions, pretty much all of them, but there were some that like I fucking yes. Supersonic is such a fucking awesome song.
Mm.
Destined for Nothing, which I already mentioned, like such an earworm and so fucking good, so catchy. And I love Evangeline. I think Evangeline's also one of the catchiest choruses.
Evangeline's good too.
And I love the like super pop punky closing chorus where they kind of like open it up and do more like they cut the beat in half and it becomes super boppy and like
Yeah.
just head bobbing and everything. And then I
Yeah.
thought You Don't Belong was a great song too. And it reminded me a lot of No Effects or like Lagwagon or something. I don't know if you ever heard Lagwagon or like No Use for a Name.
I've heard a little Lagwagon.
Yeah, You Don't Belong reminded me of that. It was kind of more. His voice was a little different. His delivery is a little more like fluid and longer, like singies. Um, it also had. It was like it sounded like an '80s coming of age song, but in a musical. Also, like it was another one of those musical
Yeah, yeah,
sounding
yeah.
songs. And then I can't believe you don't like The Defense. The
Uh,
Defense is such a good song.
Defense is fine. I'm
It's like
into
the
it.
heaviest song on the record. It's really weird and like claustrophobic sounding and like it sounds kind of paranoid, you know? I love the sitar that
I had no idea there was a sitar on this record until I went to the Wikipedia.
headphones, dude.
Dude, I do not think
They
it's
strike
that
again.
distinguished.
They strike again.
I
You're
thought
like,
it was just a guitar effect pedal. I thought
you're
it was
like, is
just
that
an
a
effects pedal.
bouzouki? Is that a bouzouki or a banjo?
Wait a second.
Yeah, wait, is that a lute?
And so those were your Narnables. You already said your fucking other Narnug was
Yeah,
Sorrow.
we're done here.
I I'm sorry, sir.
Oh wait, you still have. Oh
I
man.
still have I thought this was going to be your second one, if
No,
I'm
yeah,
being
no.
honest.
Oh, what do you got?
I first heard this song, I'd say probably 10 years ago, as a fan animation on YouTube of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
Uh, and I think from
Jesus.
that clue alone, it's Supersonic. It's the first song on the album.
Oh, okay. Dude,
I
yeah,
think
that's a great Sonic the Hedgehog song.
it is great because he
Yeah.
goes supersonic. Um, I
And it's
think
like grinding.
I love the fucking pace. I love the guitar tone. It's my favorite chorus on the record. I think the backup
Yeah.
vocals are utilized fantastically.
So
Uh
like again, super Queen's theatrical,
yeah, coming in on
like
like the second half of like I could go supersonic, the problem's chronic.
ah,
You know,
yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, and like yeah, and you don't hear Oz like that in punk music.
No.
And I love the intro so much. It's
Yeah.
like,
Very.
oh,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my god, what a way to start a song.
I again, my favorite, like, this is Bad Religion to me. Is this song? Is this
Yeah,
fast pace? Is this vocals? This chorus? These backups? This guitar tone? Like, this is it to
that
me.
is Bad Religion. Yeah, it's like you play Supersonic for people when you're just like, have you ever heard Bad Religion? They're like, no. You're like, all right, here. Like
Yeah.
that is the song to play.
Boom.
Yeah, like this is probably
And
one
then
of the best.
the bridge where like the backup vocals are kind of saying different shit, and he's like, you know, I got to me, whatever. Listen to the
Yeah.
song. I can't describe it well.
Oh, uh, oh yeah, I'm thinking of the defense, the end of the defense where he's like, "It's combination, no, and then the back of is like, "Violet, Violet," like
It's
you know,
pretty
just
much
doing these
that.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty much that. Yeah, they're just fucking great at it, man.
But yeah, man, that's my second nug, and
Oh shit!
now we're done.
All right, what were you gonna? What were you coming into this? What rating did you have coming into this?
Um, man, I mean, if I was being honest with myself, I was thinking like yesterday, I was thinking of 5,
Yeah, that's what I was
just
expecting.
just cuz like
I was getting
I
a
don't know.
5 vibe.
It wasn't like grasping me
Yeah.
like I was hoping it would, but after more listens, after hearing what you like about it, 6.6.
All right. Hey, I did my job. You're a Bad Religion acolyte now.
Is that how that works?
Yep.
Well, there you go.
I'll send you a shirt. And that's
Thanks,
it,
buddy.
buds. Thank you for listening or watching, however you choose to do. Go listen to all our other episodes. Rate us, review us, share it with your friends. And you know, at least on Spotify, we have a little QA thing for every episode that we upload that it says like, "What did you think of this album?" You guys can
Yeah,
answer.
yeah.
Go answer that QA if you know if you want to interact or leave us a comment on YouTube. Um, Ash, what are we listening to next? Do you know?
Man, I'm looking at the list of albums here, and man, a lot of shit on here. So much
Like
stuff.
shit, or like a lot of
A lot of
choices.
a lot of good shit, a lot of bad shit,
Why'd you
a
put
lot of
bad shit on there?
normal medium shit, you know?
Why did you put anything bad on there?
Um, well, there's like a couple albums that I want to listen to that are like iconic that I've never
Uh,
understood, you know.
I
Like
do have
like
a few on my list also that are like ones I've never heard before, but like I've been wanting to listen to Latin music. Like we haven't talked about any Latin music on this podcast before, so that's gonna be one of
no.
my next ones.
Uh I think the album I'm going to go with over here that I've already decided, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Um this is
Sure.
just I just want to like really prelude to this
Yeah,
very
really make it really
easily.
dramatic.
We're gonna go a different fucking direction, man. If you're gonna pick like a Latin album, you know,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a couple weeks, I'm gonna pick a weird fucking electronic album.
Oh, okay.
This is an EP titled 19 by the band Who Killed XIX.
Killed XIX.
Who Killed XIX or XIX?
19.
It
Would
seems
it
like
be
they had
19?
legal problems. 19,
Who killed 19? Okay. I've
which I
definitely never
believe
heard of it.
if they were called XIX, I guess that'd be a self-titled record,
And you said
right?
it's an EP? Yeah, it
It's an
would. Yeah.
EP. It's like 6 songs. It's got the two of them smiling on the front. I think it's a great electronic record. I I don't have the highest hopes for you enjoying it, but try to
Great.
I'm gonna tell myself that you're gonna like it, man.
Oh, well, all right. Let's hope that you are right, I guess,
I think it
about
goes
one
hard.
of
I think
those.
it's cool as fuck, and I think if you're not lame, you're gonna enjoy it.
Oh, wow. All right. All right, we're gonna listen to Who Killed XIX by XIX. Wait, what
19
was it?
by the album is 19 by the band Who Killed XIX.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, man. Cool. I'm into it. Anything you want to say? Any closing statements?
Man, just find yourself out there, you know? Just live your truth. Don't listen to society's fucking rules, man. Just break out. Be you. Be who you want to be, even if it's fucking cringe and cheesy.
Be honest, we're all cringe and cheesy.
Just let the cringe be a part of you, you know?
Go on a cringe binge.
Go on a cringe binge. Just fucking get the jitters out of your system. And then wear
Have a
that
weird weekend.
fucking like color that fucking hair, you know, wear that fucking skirt. Buy that fucking thing that you want to buy at the store. That's like, oh, it's kind of a bit. Buy it. Just make it. Do it. You know,
The
make you
weird
happy.
alien dick that lays eggs in people. If you're
Yeah, if
into
that's
that,
what
buy
you're
one of those
into.
things.
If
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know, maybe I'd like being of the other gender. Maybe try that out. You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
Just do,
man.
do whatever you want to fucking do. I don't know.
Life's too short.
Life's too short to just be one gender the whole time. Is what I'm saying.
Try it out.
Just try it out.
It's not confusing at all.
I you'll I'm yeah, I wish I could just fucking beam into your head how not confusing it is.
I mean, that's true. It'd be confusing for someone who doesn't feel that way.
I guess so.
Yeah. All right, good closing statements. I like it. Ash, this was good.
Lucas, this was good.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, y'all. Bye.